and welcome back to another episode today. Today we are going to be busy with the back bumper on the Jimny. This one has seen a couple of better days. Over here this was quite a funny little thing. Sitting on the highway in traffic, waiting patiently for my turn to go, and somebody decided to go into the back of me. I will see if I can find some pictures, and if I do I will insert them here to have a look at. But otherwise we're going to continue with the windscreen on the front. I managed to get it all off the other day, but there's a little bit of work that needs to be done just to clean up around the frame. Clearly the first time I put it in didn't really seal so well. I know why. There were some sections where the adhesive just wasn't thick enough. So today we're going to get that back on the road, because this coming Saturday we've got a bit of a breakfast run. We're doing something a little bit different with the SJ crew this time. We are going to be heading out on the road. So we're going to do some of the mountain passes here in Cape Town instead of taking it off trail, and I'm hoping to have this guy back on the road by then. So this is the new improved Jimny air conditioner. You don't need anything else, you just open up your windscreen. This is SJ life, I tell you. This is good to go. So looking at this now, I'm not surprised that the window was leaking. If you have a look up here, this is all looking pretty good in terms of uniform. And then when you come to this side, I mean, like, what's going on here? Hardly anything. Okay, don't worry about that, because all the paint was pulled off by the sealer. So next up is, got to make sure that this is cleaned up. The windscreen which I put inside the garage so the wind doesn't blow it over, got to clean that up and then glue it into place. Alright, we're making a little bit of progress. I'm probably about halfway through with the bumper so far. For you guys it's been a couple of moments, for me it's probably been about 45 minutes so far. And yeah, we're making some good progress. I'm actually quite impressed with the chrome look, or the shiny look. Maybe we should keep it like that. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments what you think. Should I leave it as a nice polished, or should we give it a nice coat of paint? So for those of you that don't know the history of this bumper, this was a bumper that I built with a couple of mates probably about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. Some leftover pieces of scrap metal that we had lying around from a couple of other projects, and again, if I can find photos, they would have popped up here, here and here. And one thing I did want to show was the mounting points for the recovery points. So I'm a firm believer that your recovery point should be on your chassis, and that's exactly what I've done here. So this has a piece of 10mm plate that has gone straight through here. It's not welded onto the main frame. It goes straight through, so this actually bolts into the chassis, and then I've built the bumper around that. So for those of you that want to try this at home or make your own bumper, I'm always start with the strongest points. I'd rather have function over form and make sure that it works properly. So those pieces just slide straight into the chassis here, and I put some holes in the side and gusseted them, and it's worked. I'm a Chimney, so we don't get stuck all that often, but I have helped to get some bigger vehicles out before, and it's never given me a problem. And with this design specifically, it's now braced, it's welded there and there, so it's braced across, super strong, not going anywhere. Yeah, and one thing else that did arrive while I was busy, yeah, this super little thing. So this is coming in another video. Make sure to stick around and check out the next videos to see what that's all about. Yeah, for now, going to let the grinder cool down and then get finished up grinding the bumper, and then decide on color and paint. And I almost forgot to actually tell you why I'm redoing all of this. So if we have a look, the bumper over here, it's got a little bit of wear and tear on and whatever the case is. So I'm just giving it a complete fresh coat of paint and everything like that. And I cannot for the life of me remember what I coated this bumper with originally, but what I thought was going to be a quick half-an-hour job to clean all of this off has turned out to be a lot longer. So it felt like I was never going to be able to say this, but I am finally done with the bumper, and here she is in all her glory. Now Yes, she's not perfect. I think with the front bumper over there, I think I'm going to find it if I can do acid dipping rather, because that's a little bit more intricate than this, and I do not really want to be spending another 4 or 5 hours on that bumper. So what I'm going to be doing with this one now is there's a local product that we get here in South Africa called Fussbait. It's an etch primer that is really, really good, and I think that's what I had on here originally, and that's why I struggled so much to clean this other bumper. So I'm going to stick that on now. Hopefully that will dry fairly quickly, because I'd love to get a coat of paint on this before this evening pops in, so that no surface rust appears. Alright, so final layer is done on the bumper, and she's looking pretty smart, I must admit. Couple of little dirt marks in it, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. If it looks bad once on the Jimny, I will go and buy some of the same Rust-Oleum gloss black, but the one with the speckled texture in. So this here's the paint that I've been using in colder environments. My advice would be warm the can up, a little bit of warm water, it makes the spraying so much easier. And while I was busy cleaning it, I just thought I'd give you guys this tip. I had a little bit of the sealant remover, and Lindsay said to me, why don't I get some paint stripper and put it on? And I was like, I don't have any, and then I found that, and that actually worked really well. Spray it on, let it bubble, and then yeah, it all bubbles up, scraped it off with a paint scraper, and that made my life a little bit easier. So I'm going to let this dry, and I will see you in a moment. Alright, so just a bit of an update. Thought while I had the windscreen out and I was busy over here, managed to get the bumper on the ground. This is the front bumper. Thought I'd give it a coat of paint. No, that is not the final finish. I've decided that I'm going to send it in for sandblasting and powder coating, but that can only happen in the new year, just because everything's starting to slow down. But yeah, she's no front bumper. Kind of like the naked look in the front. So yeah, we're going to let that paint dry on the back bumper. Wait for this to all finish up, get that all back together. But so far everything's coming together quite nicely for Saturday, so that at least we can go and have some fun, do a little bit of a year end with the SJ boys, and then I've got a bit of work to do on this bumper, but that'll happen in another episode. And she is finally all back together. Glass is in, front bumper's back on. We did the glass yesterday. I let it sit for a day or two just to dry out the glue before doing anything. I still need to let it sit for another day or two just before I can wash the car, so it's still a bit dirty. Back bumper is on, looking mighty fine, nice and smooth. So yeah, tomorrow we've got the breakfast run. If you want to see that, make sure that you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell, so that you can get an alert when that video goes live. But I am quite happy with the way that this turned out. I still need to get a beading to run inside here, and I think I'm just going to get some 5mm like paracord, round rubber cord, and just fit it in there, and it's going to work perfectly. So yeah, I'm excited for the breakfast run tomorrow. Hope that we'll see you guys in the next video. Till the next time,